passing a bill on the IRA definition through the State Assembly, and they're pushing for it very aggressively. And as we said many times before, the danger in this is that the definition seeks to equate anti-Semitism with any negative rhetoric against Israel. And so this poses a danger to our freedom of speech. So we ask everybody to scan the QR code. You're sitting here for the next hour very easily. Just put your phone up, scan the QR code, and there is, when you scan it, there is a prepared email that will go to your state legislator and your legislative leadership. It'll go directly to them, and it'll just ask some basic information, your name and your address, and then from that it'll generate who the email should go to, and you just click and it'll send them a prepared email by CARE. And this is something that politicians take into consideration. When they get hundreds and thousands of complaints about something, they know that it's something that they need to give attention to. So please, it's very easy to do. All you need to do, one of the QR codes says call your legislator. That will take you a bit more time. But this one that's showing right now sends send one-click email. All you have to do is scan the QR code. Even sisters on the sister side, you could just stand up and zoom in on your camera phone and scan the QR code, and it'll automatically come up by you if you didn't already do it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and protect the freedoms that we have in this country. Allahumma ameen. Second announcement. So, me and Sheikh Ismail have a back-to-back. Today, Friday Forum, and tomorrow, Unfiltered in Masjid Yunus, bidhnillahi ta'ala. Tomorrow, Unfiltered at Masjid Yunus is going to be at 7:30 p.m., and I'll have the honor to join Sheikh Ismail there, and it'll be about the true legacy of Jesus, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. So you're welcome to join us for that tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. in Masjid Yunus. Also, we have the 2026 ICPC calendars available, and this calendar is very unique because it has many scenes from Gaza, destroyed masajid, martyrs from people of the press and medical doctors, and it gives you a rundown and a stat sheet of all that's happened in the genocide against Gaza. So it's a very nice calendar to have. I think we still have copies of it in the masjid. You can ask Brother Radwan about it, and you could get your copy and give the suggested donation to the masjid, inshallah. So that's another announcement. One more announcement is there's an event this Sunday in ICPC Patterson, Barakah to Business. It's for Muslim entrepreneurs. It's Muslim success stories. It's going to be in ICPC Patterson from 2:30 to 5:30, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If you know any Muslim who has a business, encourage them to attend it for networking purposes and so on and so forth, inshallah. There's many other things happening at the masjid. You could find all of the details on the website or on our social media. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our efforts and give us tawfiq and guidance. Allahumma ameen. Sheikh Ismail, if you could please just give us a framing for the next hour that we have together talking about time.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Osamah, barakallah feek. It's always an honor to be here. Jazakallah khair, barakallah feek. Excited to have you tomorrow in Masjid Yunus. Really excited. Please come, and if you have time tomorrow, come. It will be a nice, fruitful talk, inshallah. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We start off by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending our peace and blessings upon our Master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us beneficial knowledge and understanding and wisdom, and to keep us steadfast and to keep us healthy, and to grant us goodness in the end of this year, and to grant us goodness in the beginning of the next year. So, as Sheikh Osamah was mentioning when we were discussing the topic and the topic title, I think the believer, the mu'min, the person that has iman in his heart, as we always and often say, is very different than the person that doesn't have iman. And this iman grants him a couple of gifts. And one of the gifts that this iman grants the individual is something called basira, or insight. One of the gifts the individual that has iman in his heart receives, one of the many gifts he receives, is something called basira, which is insight. And I think the believer, No, I think the believer is not like the person who doesn't have belief, meaning that he takes opportunities in his life to reflect. He receives and takes opportunities to reflect. So I think that the end of a year is a great opportunity to reflect on a year that has passed. And like we said, the mu'min is always constantly seeking any opportunity he gets to self-reflect. And this is a sign of iman, self-reflection, muhasabah. And the believer should be self-reflecting daily. He should be. There should not be a day that goes by except you think about, did I come closer to Jannah or did I come closer to Jahannam? This is the real state of iman. But adhaf al-iman, the weakest state of iman is that the end of the year comes and you think to yourself, oh, a whole year passed. And there's something I want to mention to contextualize this fleeting nature of time, this fleeting nature of time. We have this class in my masjid every Wednesday night, Tafsir Surah Al-Qasas. There's a student that started joining us just from the surah about a month or two ago. We started the surah and he said, Sheikh Ismail, look, I don't want to just come and attend on Wednesday. I also want to bring forth something so I could show something on Yawm al-Qiyamah. I want to memorize the surah. And I thought this is a great idea because he said, I want to memorize the surah as we go along. It will be easier for me. So whatever we cover, I'll memorize. I said, great idea, Habibi. So we set up a system and like a punishment if you miss a week, so now you can't miss a week. And the reason why I'm bringing this story to light, the reason why I'm mentioning this story specifically is because every single Wednesday we finish the class and I go downstairs with him and I say, Allah, Iqra, read, and he starts reading. And I swear to God, Wallahi al-Azim, I swear by Allah, every Wednesday, I say to myself, there's no way that this was last week that I just saw him. I feel like it was yesterday that I saw him. But he took the initiative to capitalize on time, right? He took the initiative to capitalize and he said, I'm going to memorize. And he's pushing himself. May Allah keep him steadfast. So he got me thinking. He got me really thinking. These last 2-3 weeks, I'm sitting with him and I'm saying read, and I feel like I just saw him yesterday. 7 days passed. It got me reflecting for my own self. What do I do in 7 days? That 7 days passed so quickly. And he's already in front of me reading the next page that he memorized. And as Shaykh Osamah mentioned, wallahi, the title it's an applicable title, the blink of an eye. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he's going to characterize Yawm al-Qiyamah as being so close, it's interesting that he uses this phrase, كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب وما أمر الساعة إلا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب. As Allah says in Surah An-Nahl, this astonishing ayah, he says, and what is the matter of the hour? God says Yawm al-Qiyamah, Yawm al-Qiyamah, because we say Yawm al-Qiyamah, you read Yawm al-Qiyamah, you think far. You read Yawm al-Qiyamah, you read ayat Yawm al-Qiyamah, you think far, later. I do haram now, later. No, not later. Allah says, no, not later. Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to come, kalamh al-basar, like when you blink your eye, oh huwa aqrab, or maybe even quicker than the blink of an eye. I just find this astonishing. Wallahi, this nature of the Quran is astonishing, telling you, no, Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to be like tomorrow. And this dunya in the Quran is always characterized. Allah uses adjectives as saying like a day or part of a day, and this is the absolute truth. This is the nature of this dunya. It goes by quickly. So the believer is the person that capitalizes on this opportunity. The believer is the person that takes heed from a reminder. The mu'min doesn't go by every single day like everyone else. So he comes to the end of the year, Gregorian calendar, no problem. United States of America 2025 comes to an end. We're in December 19th. We have about 1.5 weeks left of this year. What did you do in the past year? Think to yourself, like, what did you do? And this concept of time is very interesting because, we like to call it the currency of time because time is very valuable. And we call currency to something that holds value to it. We say something that has value, it's currency. The United States dollar is a currency. You go to Egypt and you exchange $100 to Guinea, it's going to get 5,055 Guinea, right? You're going to get something heavy, right? You're going to go to Saudi Arabia, you get 265 Saudi Arabian riyals. You go to the UK, you get 70 pounds. And it's called currency because it's something that has value to it. Currency has value to it. And you could use this currency, by the way, you could use currency for good or for bad in everything, of course. You could use currency for good or for bad. But the most valuable currency from all currencies, the most valuable currency is the currency of time. Because time, every single individual has the same amount of time. Every single human being on earth has the same amount of time. And it's all about how you use it. And you could use it to your benefit or you could use it to your strong demise and your disadvantage. I want to just open up by saying that this is the white person, the black person, the Chinese person, the Bengali person, the American person, Pakistan, everyone on earth has the same exact 24 hours a day, and it's all about how you use it. It's all about how you use it and how you capitalize on it.
SubhanAllah, very true. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh Ismail. Allah yabarik feek. I think the way I look at it, these different verses that characterize time for us in the Quran, is that they describe to us there's a spiritual relativity to time. What that means is the only value in time is how we choose to capitalize on it. Meaning, if I live for 1,000 years and I end up in hellfire after that, then that 1,000 years was to of no avail, right? يود أحدهم لو يعمر ألف سنة وما هو بمزحزحه من العذاب أن يعمر. End result will be the same. And in fact, the Prophet ﷺ tells us that reality will hold true on the Day of Judgment. The one who had the best life and the one who had the hardest life brought forward. And the one who had the best life, easiest life, who's ultimately from the people of hellfire, will be put in hellfire for a moment. And then will be asked, did you see any goodness in your life? And that moment in hellfire erased all of the goodness that this person went through. And then someone will be brought forward who had the toughest life, who's ultimately from the people of Jannah. Put in Jannah for a moment, extracted. Did you see any hardship in your life? Heartache? He said, no, I haven't seen anything bad. It erased it all. So you see, subhanAllah, that's the interesting thing about time. When you look at it in retrospect, it's like a blur, right? SubhanAllah. And the older you get, the bigger the blur. You said, I just feel like it was yesterday when I was able to run around and do this and go here and go there. And now this person is 3, 4, 5 kids later, or maybe grandkids later, on the verge of retirement. How did my life pass? The Quran tells us this in multiple instances. There's another situation where on the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes to us an emotion of regret that will be expressed like this. The person will say, يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِي. I wish I did something with my life. That's a very scary thought. For me to live a lifetime here and reach old age, and then I look back at my life and it's all a ton of regrets as to all the things I should have done in my relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal but didn't do. This is an advice for anyone who still has a moment in time, in their youth, in their healthy years, in their youthful years. Take advantage of it. We will be asked about that. That's not going to remain. Sheikh, what comes to my mind when I also hear the blink of an eye, I saw this police chase recently, and there was dash cam footage. People do crazy things. This person stole a police car and was being chased by the police and was going at astronomical speeds, and the dash cam shows the moment that this person lost control of the vehicle, and there was just this person driving on the other side of the road, not minding their own business. There was 3 people in the car. It shows the exact second, it takes a screenshot of it before the 2 cars collide, and the one going over 100 miles per hour slams into the other pickup truck and smashes it to pieces. And this person who was running from the cops dies, and 2 people in the other car die, and one was in critical condition. Just a blink of an eye, right? It just takes a blink of an eye for the reality of the transition to settle in. That's what I think of kalamh al-basar too. The reality of the transition for me to surrender all of my power and abilities and realize, all right, you know what? The car I left outside, I'm not going back to it right now. You know what? The house, the bedroom that I closed the door to, I'm not going to open that door again. The appointments that were for tomorrow and the day after, erased. Khalas, one reality. And the Prophet said, we learn, Man mata faqad qamat qiyamatuh. As soon as I die, the process of my Day of Judgment has already started, right? So, if that's how vulnerable I am, then I need to, as Sheikh Ismail was saying, be very self-accountable for the time that I have. How should I spend it? What should I be doing? Again, there's a lot of things in our deen that make us think like this. It's not about the time frame. It's about how you choose to use it. That's where people are very mistaken when it comes to attitudes towards Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr is coming up. Can you believe it? In 2 months, we will be in the blessed month of Ramadan. And every single year, the same aspect of human nature kicks in. Laylatul Qadr is not a night. Laylatul Qadr is a mindset. It's a journey. It is a night, don't get me wrong. But it's not about a night. There is a sense of tashweeq and yearning and urgency that Ramadan develops within me, and that's what it's about. It's not about a blip in time where I pray that makes it worth more than an entire lifetime. It's about this attitude that helps me really change my direction in my life. Wallahu alam.
Jazakallah khair. That was very beautiful, Shaykh Osamah. Building off what Shaykh Osamah was speaking about and what we're talking about, to give us all like a perspective so we could all think, so we could all self-assess, because that's the ultimate goal. Like we give this talk in order for us to take heed ourselves, right? And so we could stop and think. We don't just say these things for good feelings, like, you know, like it's not, good feelings is good, but we want to take heed from our remembrance. We want to take heed from our reminder. We want to receive the bounty or the gift of the remembrance. So that's why we talk about these things or these concepts. So speaking about time, and time being a valuable currency, and time being the most valuable currency anybody has, with its value being so high, it's also interesting because, like we were saying, every single person has the same amount of time. And when you think and ponder, about it, like CEOs of companies, correct? They're successful in dunya. CEO of a company, successful. He was not born out of his mother's stomach, a CEO of a company. Or you think of a scholar. You think of Abu Hanifa. He was not born out of his mother's stomach, a scholar. He was not born out of his mother. As Allah tells us again in Surah Al-Nahl, والله أخرجكم من بطون أمهاتكم لا تعلمون شيئا وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة لعلكم تشكرون. Right? Allah, He tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He brought you out of your mother's womb and you were given birth. لا تعلمون شيئا, and you know nothing. When you're born, no one is born a genius. No one is born a doctor. You go to medical school, you apply to medical school, you go, you don't get in, you go to the Bahamas, you go to medical school somewhere, and you exert effort, and you go time, effort, boards 7 times, lose your hair transplant, all this. You go all of this time and you become a medical doctor. Alhamdulillah, you get, your mother is happy for you, and alhamdulillah, pictures medical doctor, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless all the doctors of the world. All of the effort is exerted. My point is, you're not born a doctor, you're not born a scholar, you're not born a CEO of a company, you're not born something successful. You have to exert something called time in order to achieve that ultimate goal. No one is made something without exerting the effort. That's why we talk about time in this kind of way. Because Jeff Bezos, right, and Abu Hanifa, and Malik ibn Anas, all humans of the world, they all had the same time. It's all about how they capitalize on this time.
Sheikh, I think you're the first to mention Jeff Bezos and Abu Hanifa.
You know why, Sheikh Osamah? You know why? There's a reason for it. No, honestly. Because if you say Abu Hanifa, they say, oh, Abu Hanifa. You say Jeff Bezos, he's alive today. And he's successful in dunya. Abu Hanifa was successful in dunya and akhirah, inshallah, you know? So I'd like to give 2 examples. Jeff Bezos today, because people love dunya, and people love corporate, you know, this, that. He has a lot of money. No, well, he's successful. But I'm saying he exerted effort to reach that. He exerted effort. He put in the work to reach what he got. You know, he planted and he received the harvest of his plantation. So I say this because you have to think, if Jeff Bezos can do it, or if Abu Hanifa could do it, or if Imam al-Nawawi could do it, or if Bukhari could do it, they're human beings like you, Habibi. Like we're all human beings. We are all human beings in the same planet Earth with 24 hours a day, right? 7 days a week. We all have the same calendar. We follow. So what was different for them than me? Like, I want to know, how did he reach what he reached, and how come I'm not there? That's what you have to stop and think about all the time. There's nothing different. There is no difference between him and you. You both have the same currency. It's about how you spend it and where you exchange that money. It's about how you spend it and where you exchange it. So Allah comes in the Quran, always, constantly, drilling into us for us to understand the importance of this concept, and also to drill into us for us to understand this other important concept, which is the fleeting nature of dunya. 2 concepts that are very important in the Quran. One concept is the importance of time. Allah drills into us that time is sacred. And the other concept that Allah constantly comes with is dunya is nothing. Dunya is nothing. It comes and it goes like nothing. An example of this time being sacred is the famous Surah Al-Asr. I say the famous surah because it's known by everyone. Because you have a kid, inshallah, you raise your kid, and the first thing you teach him is قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, and then you say تَبَّتْ يَدَا, right? Then you say قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ, and then you teach your child أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ, and then وَالْعَصْرِ, right? The ending surahs, the end 2-3 pages, your child, inshallah, memorizes them at a young age, and he has them forever. So, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Very short surah, 3 ayahs. Seems this word is wrong to use, but it seems like insignificantly short. Insignificantly short. It's because it's really short. Like you read it and you feel like, oh, I just read the Asr and Sheikh, I only read Asr and Salah. Bro, Asr is amazing. Surah Al-Asr is a surah of the Quran. It's amazing. It's the word of God. Well, it's phenomenal. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He starts off the surah by swearing. He swears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great and Allah is holy and Allah is majestic. So He only swears by something great and majestic and sacred. And He says, wal asr. He swears by time. He says by time. God Almighty, Allah. He says, wa shamsi wa duhaha. Right? He swears by the sun. The sun is something great. It's a great creation of the creations of God. Wa layli idha yakhsha. He swears by layl. Wal duha. He swears by the timing. God Almighty, He swears by something sacred and mighty. So He swears by timing. For you to understand as a human being, time is very important, my brother. Time is very sacred. It's the most expensive currency in the world and it's very important. And then He says, Allah, right after that, describing this notion and concept of time for you to take heed, for you to wake up. And a surah that your children memorize and they recite their whole lives. So you're constantly memorizing and reading the surah your whole life to remind yourself that time is nothing. You have to remind yourself in salah, when you read Al-Asr, time is nothing. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Indeed, mankind is at loss. Except for one category of people. Mankind, all the mankind, us human beings, we're at loss. Everyone is losing constantly. You know why, Sheikh? Because right now it's 8:27. And we started at 8 p.m. We all here, everyone here lost 27 minutes. We all lost, and we're not going to ever get that time back ever. 8 p.m. to 8:27 on December 19th is gone forever, and it never comes back. So now it all depends on how you use those last 27 minutes of your life. Inshallah, if you're here, you're using it for good. You're in the masjid, you're here for a good reason. So you use these 27 minutes for good. And the person outside doing haram or doing whatever or wasting time, he's not using it for good. It's all about how you use that time that you never get back. So God says everyone's at loss. And it's true because everyone is constantly in a state of loss of time. Everyone is always losing time. And then Allah wants to make sure we understand why He's emphasizing this important point so much. He says, except for one category of people that have 4 characteristics to them. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Except for those who believed. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And they did pious actions. Because belief by itself is not enough, Habibi. You say, I believe, and you go do haram. You say, I believe, and you go look at haram. You say, I believe, you go listen to haram. You say, I believe, and you don't pray. No. Follow up your belief with some action. So except for those who believed, they have good belief in their heart, and they do good deeds. They put their money where their mouth is. They put their money where their mouth is. They act upon what they say. They have firm belief and they act upon it. And وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And they had 2 more characteristics that were very important to have. They saw assistance in the truth, and they saw assistance in patience. Because as a human being, when you go through the world of dunya, when you go through life, you're going to seek assistance through something. You will seek assistance through something when you go through a hardship. And as a human, we go through hardships all the time. وَالْبَلَايَا مُتَنَوَّعَةً. And the hardships are different and various. Everyone is going through a different hardship. And hardships are many. How do you get through a hardship as a human being? As a human being, how do you get through a hardship? Allah is telling us the successful person who's losing constantly because time is always going, he's successful for the reason of his belief and his pious actions. And every time he goes through something difficult in this world, he does isti'ana, he seeks assistance through the haqq, through the truth, which is Islam, and everything Islam comes with. He seeks his assistance through Quran and through Salah and through the masjid. And he seeks assistance through good things, through the religion of Islam, not through indulging in haram. He doesn't seek assistance when he goes to a hardship through haram. Because people, they hit the what's the saying? Hits the fan. Life hits, the rock hits the fan.
كمل.
Yeah. So when things go hard in life, people people that have no guidance, people who are not on the truth, they result in doing haram, is what I'm trying to say. Not to talk too much, but like people do haram. They cope with haram. And this is a phenomenon. This is the state of the world. If people go through something difficult, they try to get over it by doing it or indulging in an addiction or something haram. So Allah says that person is not successful. The person who is successful is the one who, when he needs help, he seeks assistance through the truth, through Islam, through good means. And he also seeks assistance through something else called sabr, through patience. And the person that's gifted this notion of patience, he's gifted everything good in the world, because this patience, you're going to take it. It's called a virtue. A virtue is a good characteristic to have. This virtue of patience, you're going to take it, you're going to hold on to it with your molar teeth, and you'll never let go. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, وَمَا أُعْطِيَ أَحَدٌ عَطَاءٌ خَيْرًا وَأَوْفَى مِنَ الصَّبْرِ. He said, no one is ever gifted a gift more virtuous, more blessing, and more giving than the virtue of patience. There's nothing a human can be gifted more than patience. So I just wanted to mention this surah because this is an example of Allah swearing by time, talking about the importance of time, talking about how everyone is always losing except for the person who's using time rightly, the person who's on guidance, the person when he goes through difficulty, he seeks help through Islam. The person when he goes through difficulty, he goes to the masjid. Brother and sister, we all go through difficulties. 2025 came, I'm sure all of us got hit left, right, and center with difficulties. Everyone's difficulty is different. Everyone's test is different. Some people are tested with something that it's another person's gift. You know, you have to understand the dunya is different for everyone. You get through all of these things through the prescriptions and the remedies and the medications the Quran gives you. Surah Al-Asr, 3 ayahs. God tells you how to get through life. Imam al-Shafi'i, he says, if this surah was the only surah ever revealed, it would suffice them. If this is the only surah that you have for guidance, it's enough for you. You're always going to be in a state of loss unless you're a believer, and unless you're working upon your belief and staying away from haram, and you're seeking assistance in all your problems and tribulations through the truth, to Islam, and through patience, the greatest virtue anyone can have.
You know, I think one of the biggest things that helps us realize the value in time, and subhanAllah, it's interesting how you said Surah Al-Asr is such a small surah but very deep in meaning. You know, is to remind us, hey, look, you know, from point A, from the beginning to the end is shorter than you think. You know, it reminds me of another set of verses, Surah Abasa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He summarizes our existence in a very, very concise way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُتِلَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا أَكْفَرَهُ. Then He says, مِنْ أَيِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقَهُ. The human being is so rebellious. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what did He create it from? What did He create him from? He says, مِن نُطْفَةٍ خَلَقَهُ فَقَدَّرَ. He created him from a sperm cell, and then He proportioned him. And then after that, ثُمَّ السَّبِيلَ يَسَّرَ. Then He guided him to his path in life. And then, ثُمَّ أَمَاتَهُ فَأَقْبَرَ. Then after that, He causes him to die and enter his grave. ثُمَّ إِذَا شَاءَ أَنْشَرَ. And then when He decrees, He causes him to be resurrected. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarizes our entire existence. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. How long are you going to live? Allah summarizes it in these 3 verses. There's nothing there. You know, and subhanAllah, I think part of the reason why it's so difficult for us to take advantage of time is because we get fooled into thinking that we have so much more of it. You know, the Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith, نِعْمَتَانِ مَغْبُونٌ فِيهِمَا كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ. There are 2 blessings that people are cheated out of. الصِّحَّةُ وَالْفَرَاغُ. Good health and free time. I'm deceived in thinking I have so much more time than I actually have. And that's why there's these Quranic expressions that try to summarize life in such an abridged way. There's another one. Allah الَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن ضَعْفٍ. Allah created you from weakness. And then after this weakness comes strength. And then after this strength comes weakness and old age. That's the summary of life. 3 stages. Some people make it to the 2nd stage. But even if you make it to the 2nd stage, you will not make it past the 3rd stage. That's it, it's done. There's nothing after that. That's the summary of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to break out of this. You know what else helps people break out of? And subhanAllah, hindsight's 20/20, right? So there's this beautiful line of poetry in Arabic. You know, what makes people value time more? When they realize that they're at the very end of it, right? That's when they start focusing more on spiritual things. There's a beautiful line of poetry. What does it say? ألا ليت الشباب يعود يوما فأخبره بما فعل المشيب. He says in this line of poetry, if only youth and my youthful years and my young age can come back for a moment so that I could tell my youthful years what old age has done to me. But it's not going to happen like that. That's it. Once you get old, you can't go back to being young again. So when the person's, you know, when the weakness of old age starts settling in, you're not as fast and nimble as you used to be, and you have to take a lot of medications, and you have to sleep like this, you know, all kinds of difficulties in life. Then I start remembering, oh man, that's it. I'm at the end. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the people of hell, you know what He tells the people of hellfire? He tells them, when they ask, send us back so we do something better. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَوَلَمْ نُعَمِّرْكُمْ مَا يَتَذَكَّرُ فِيهِ مَنْ تَذَكَّرَ وَجَاءَكُمُ النَّذِيرُ. Didn't you live long enough for those who want to be reminded, and the warner came to you? You know what the warner is? So, you know, of course, the Prophet's a warner. But are there other forms of warning? Yes. One of those forms of warning that they mention in the books of tafsir for this is the gray hairs. The gray hairs that come for the person and remind him, hey, you know what? Most of it's gone. A little bit is left. Don't expect to stay too much longer in this reality you're in. Ya Allah. That's one part of the reflection. And, Sheikh Ismail, if you would allow me, I want to ask them one question too. We're at the end of one year and the beginning of another. Reflect with me. What do you guys think the cancers of time are? Because again, I want us to walk away, with Ramadan like 2 months away, I want us to walk away with a productive fruit. What are we going to start doing with our time? How can we take advantage of it? The first step to this is, well, what are the cancers in time? What do you think are people, what eats away at people's time so that they lose any value and benefit? And if you could raise your hand, anyone who has suggestions. Brother Diego, go ahead. Social media, yes, wastes hours and hours of people's times. Believe it or not, some people have the capacity to spend hours a day on TikTok. It's a difficult skill to. No, I'm serious about it. Social media. Eats away at people's lives, right?
There's nothing difficult about it. When you talk about difficult, it's easy. The easiest thing in the world.
All right, so social media and the disease of scrolling. May Allah forgive us and heal us from these gadgets, the disease of scrolling. What else? Who wants? Any sisters want to jump in and mention a cancer of time? A cancer of time. What do you think? So social media is one. What else? Sister. Sleeping too much. Yes, this is definitely a big challenge. If I'm busy all week and then I have 2 days in the week where I have some liberty for how I choose to use my time, and then I choose to sleep until 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., or I'm trying to get through the month of Ramadan, and the best way for me to get through it is to figure out how to build the skill of sleeping till 3 or 4 p.m. These are things that take away from our lives, right, brother over there? Video games. I definitely agree. And of course, we're not saying that doing any of this is like a cancer. But often these things are very addictive. And people who play video games don't end up doing it for 15, 20 minutes. It ends up becoming 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours for some people. And it becomes a daily thing. And, it eats away at any free time I have. That's a scary thing. It's a very scary thing. Yes? Materialism. Tell us, what do you mean? Yeah, sure. It's a cancer of time. Yeah, materialism, also consumerism, right?
Or do you mean talking a lot? Materialism or talking a lot?
No, like materialism as in like all their self-worth is attached to material things that can be bought and delivered and
Oh.
like they don't value time and connection with intangible things like spirituality, family, friends.
So that sucks a lot of time out of people, right? Yes, it does, right? It sucks a lot of time out of people. Some brothers over there. What do you want to say? He has a good one? Go ahead. Abu Sibha, tell me. Procrastination? Sorry, that's not a Sibha? Oh. Procrastination? Okay, procrastination. Yeah, that does, right? Why do today what you could leave till tomorrow, right? Why do today what... It happens, right? Why do today what you could do tomorrow? Sometimes years of our lives pass with this in mind, procrastinating. Why start memorizing? Why start learning the Quran? Why start learning? Why start becoming? You know what? Some people even, why become religious now? Khalas, I have a lot of years ahead, right? I'll wait till after I get married or till I retire, and then I'll start going. Once I retire, I will go to the masjid every single day for Fajr and Isha. Some people have that in mind. It doesn't work like that. I don't know if I'll retire. I don't know if I'll reach old age. Why would I leave that and put it off to the future, right? Anyone wants to mention anything else before we... Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sometimes I feel like people don't know how to balance a bunch of things. Like maybe you have 20 things you have to do, and the more you think about it, the more you feel like giving up. So you just don't know how to balance it.
Not knowing how to balance things, having too much on your plate. So you keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, what should you do? And so you just start giving up on things. Is that what you said? Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. May Allah facilitate your affairs, inshallah. I mean, inshallah. Sheikh, I guess our last person, and then we'll go back to Sheikh Ismail. Go ahead, brother who's raising his hand nice and high. That's a cancer? No, what's a cancer that eats away at people's time? What is it? No. He said prostate cancer? No. I don't mean literally a cancer. I mean like something that takes away. I'll give you another one. Hanging out for hours in front of, do they still do that? In front of Dunkin' Donuts or something like that?
No, they changed it.
Change it?
It's
Where's
inside Jaffa.
Jaffa. Oh, okay, there you go.
Not outside Dunkin' Donuts. It's too cold. What's your name? You. Yeah. Huh? No, him. Overeating. Oh. I don't think he heard the question, but Jazakallah khair, everyone. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, so no, Jazakallah khair. I think it's nice that the crowd is engaged, so everyone's paying attention now. This is really nice. So I think we see that there's a lot of different factors that eat away at time. And we were talking about cancers of time, not cancers of the body. So may Allah protect us all from cancer, honestly. People are going through stuff, may Allah cure them, I mean, this is something serious, And cancer of time is also serious. But I think building off the point I was mentioning earlier with the beautiful ayah that Allah mentions to us in Surah An-Nahl, when Allah says Allah is the one that brought you out of your mother's wombs, Wallahu akhrajakum min butuni ummahatikum la ta'lamuna shay'an. You came out of your mother's wombs and you didn't know anything. So God is telling us something that's obvious, by the way. He's letting us know the obvious. The obvious is that we all started off with the same amount of knowledge. And sometimes Allah mentions to us things that are obvious for you to take heed or to wake up from it, because perhaps it's obvious, but you need to be reminded of it, of this fact, of this phenomena. Everyone is born with the same amount of knowledge, with no knowledge. And it's all about how you exert effort and make the best use of your time in order to gain that knowledge. So then Allah, He says, وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. He says, then He granted you hearing, and He granted you seeing, vision, and He granted you hearts that are alive, hearts, so that you could be thankful for these senses that He granted you. Something like I found really interesting, Shaykh Osamah? I was reading the tafsir of this ayah, or any ayah that they, لماذا يقدم الباري السمع على الأبصار? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention the hearing first before He mentions the vision? Because I would think I see before I think, here I see. Me, I think I see before I hear. Allahu Alam, but this is me thinking. So the scholars of tafsir, they mention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions in this ayah, hearing first before vision, because the baby hears before he could see. And I said, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, that's amazing. Like Allah is saying He granted you these senses, and make use of all your senses the second you get a hold of them, so you could be thankful. When a baby is born, it's the sunnah to do something. When a baby is born, you go and you say Allahu Akbar in his ear, so you make sure you remind him that the greatest thing in his life is God. Because Allahu Akbar means God is greater. You make the adhan in his ear. The first thing he can do is he can hear, and you make adhan in that baby's ear as a reminder of how he's going to live his life with this motto of Allahu Akbar. But I just found that a beautiful side note is that Allah, He mentions hearing first, because you hear first before you could see properly. And it's true, because babies are born and they can't see good, and then they are able to see better. So now you're granted these senses, God says, so you could be thankful and grateful for them. It's all about how you use these senses. It's all about how you take advantage that God granted you vision. If you were to worship Allah your whole life and pray 20 salahs a day, you can't thank Allah for the vision that you have. Vision is amazing. People, they lose their eyesight. It's such a big ni'mah that you don't realize what you have until you lose it. As Shaykh Osamah mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet, there's two blessings. The human is not cognizant of these two blessings until he loses them. نِعْمَتَانِ مَغْبُونٌ فِيهِمَا كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Being healthy and having free time. You know why? The Prophet ﷺ uses the word مَغْبُونٌ فِيهِمَا, which means you're cheated of. The human being, he's cheated of these two things. Ghaban is to be cheated in a buying and selling transaction. You know why you're cheated of it? Because you're deluded. You're delusional. You think that it's nothing, like having this time is nothing. Then you lose the time and you realize what you had. But when you have something and you don't know the value of it until you lose it. Health is a great example, because we all go through sicknesses. And I think this past week has been really difficult for me, but I'm sure it's been difficult for a lot of people. I heard there was a bug going around, flu and this, that. I was sick too, and I was thinking, the whole time I was sick, I was thinking, subhanAllah, wallah, I don't take advantage of my health. The whole time I'm sick, I'm thinking, I don't take advantage of my health. I can't do anything properly. And when you're sick, you don't feel like doing anything. You have no energy. It hurts to look at the light when you're sick. SubhanAllah, basic things. Stubbing your pinky. People think the pinky is insignificant. One time, I was playing basketball, and the guy threw it really hard. And he stubbed my pinky. And I was a grown man, 28 years old, and I went home, and it hurt a lot, to be honest. And I never in my life, I swear to you, I never thought my pinky was important until that day came. SubhanAllah, I'm just saying, I'm thankful to Allah Azza wa Jal that He gave me this experience in life so I could always look at my pinky and like now I know why it's here. I mean it, wallahi. I went home and I got ready for bed. I freshened up and I got ready for bed and I went to bed and I was in so much pain. So I put my hand out like that and I tried to sleep. And I couldn't sleep with ease and it hurt all night. I didn't sleep good and then my thigh started to hurt. I don't know how my thigh started to hurt. No, wallahi, I never knew the pinky was connected to the thigh. But I guess because the position I was sleeping or something, my thigh started to like really hurt. I don't know. And I was saying, subhanAllah, the pinky is so blessed. And I'm waiting 3-4 days to go by and I'm trying to wait for the pinky to heal. And finally the pinky healed and I was sleeping good again. But like I'm just saying.
Is it truly connected?
No, but I got in an accident in Egypt with a motorcycle. So I think it brought back the pain in the thighs. It was something wrong with the thighs, but the way I was sleeping, I had to sleep a certain way. Anyway, I wanted to say you are not cognizant. You are not cognizant of this, the value of your health until you lose it. And I think anybody that went through any sickness recently or ever in his life, he could really, really understand what I'm saying. But you know something I was thinking of as well when I was sick these past 4 days? I was thinking, Shaykh Osamah, wallahi, marad is a ni'mah. Like, being sick in itself is a blessing. I promise you it's a blessing because you reflect. And it brings you closer to Allah. Like when you're down and you're hurt and you're hurting and you're ill, in illness, like you're so thankful for Allah. Like you're saying, subhanAllah, I'm so heedless of this bounty. So I say this for us to all take heed. We should all take heed. Our health is very important. If Allah grants an individual health, this is a ni'mah from Allah, man. Take advantage of your health before you lose it. But also free time is a big thing. Anyway, going back to the ayah that we're talking about. God granted us these senses to take advantage of so we could be grateful to God by using them for good. When you use your eyesight to memorize Quran, when you use your ears and your hearing to listen to Quran, to listen to something that's pleasing to Almighty God. And pondering on this ayah, Shaykh Osamah, I think of luminaries. I think of luminaries that passed us. Ulama, alamat, ulama that were strong in knowledge that left and they passed away. And they left with them an amazing legacy. And the ulama of Islam, we can mention hundreds. We can mention the ulama, the A'immat al-Arba, Abu Hanifa, Malik, Ahmad, and Shafi'i. We can mention Abu Bukhari, and Nisa'i, and Muslim, and Tirmidhi. We can mention. But it's nicer to mention someone who lived a short life, but left behind a lot so he could hit us a little more. I was giving the khutbah today in my masjid, and I was looking in front of me, and I would see 60 to 70% of the masjid was over the age of 44. I say that because of what I see. Like it seems like they're 60 to 70%, like the majority of the mosque was over the age of 44 years old. And why I say 44? We have a scholar in our Turath al-Islam. We have a scholar in our tradition. His name is Imam al-Nawawi. I know we talk about Imam al-Nawawi a lot. Shaykh Osamah is actually teaching a book by Imam al-Nawawi every Tuesday here. The Arba'un al-Nawawi, the famous book that he authored for the layperson, for the human, for every human, so he could get a glimpse of the comprehensive Sharia and Islam to 40 ahadith, to 42 ahadith of Imam al-Nawawi that Shaykh Osamah is teaching here every Tuesday night. Imam al-Nawawi is the author of that book, Abu Zakaria Yahya bin Sharaf al-Nawawi. Imam al-Nawawi, he passed away at 44. He passed away young. 44 is young. 44 is not old. And he left behind a legacy that is the scholars that came after him, they were mind-boggled. Mind-boggled? They couldn't make sense of what he left behind for the ages he lived. So they said this is not adding up. How? And you know what's interesting, even more interesting? Imam al-Nawawi lived at a time that there was no computer. I was going to say no computer, no ChatGPT, no internet. Forget computer, forget ChatGPT, which is everyone using ChatGPT now. I asked the kids at Saturday school, how's school? They said, Sheikh, ChatGPT. So they said immediately, ChatGPT, everything is chat. Even the teachers know and they don't care anymore. Everyone gave up. ChatGPT, everything. Anyway, forget ChatGPT, forget internet, forget a computer. There's no electricity at the time of Imam al-Nawawi, no running water. And he is able to produce what he produced. Imam al-Nawawi, he's the Umda in the Shafi'i madhab. You go to Al-Azhar, Shaykh Osamah, may Allah bless him. He went to Al-Azhar and he went to Kulliyat al-Sharia, the faculty of Islamic law. And when you enter Al-Azhar, traditional Islamic university, you have to pick a madhab. So Shaykh Osamah picked Shafi'i madhab, right? So when you enter Al-Azhar and you study Shafi'i madhab, your fiqh class is Imam al-Nawawi. It's a Minhaj al-Talibin, Imam al-Nawawi. He wrote the final book that the Shafi'i would study to be a mufti. In Al-Azhar, they teach the commentaries on it, Qalub bin Umairah, right? They teach this book, Imam al-Nawawi's book is taught in Al-Azhar. You go to India where they study the Shafi'i madhab in southern India, they study Imam al-Nawawi's Minhaj al-Talibin, the last book you study to be official, to be Shafi'i official. Shaykh Osamah studied it multiple times, is Imam al-Nawawi's Minhaj al-Talibin. This is in fiqh, Shafi'i. In hadith, Imam al-Nawawi left behind a legacy. In hadith, he has commentaries on Sahih Muslim. He has a bit of a commentary on Bukhari. And he has books that he wrote in hadith terminology. He has Riyadh al-Salihin, which is the famous book that every masjid in the world has. You go to Fiji, you go to a mosque in Fiji, you find Riyadh al-Salihin. Every mosque has it. Masjid Yunus has it. Clifton has it. Riyadh al-Salihin is the Umda of the Muslims. It's a hadith book. that's comprehensive, that he wrote for the lay people to have everything they need in their religion, right? And he wrote also books for lay people, books for scholars. What I'm trying to say is he is a polymath. A polymath is a scholar who is he's strong, and he's a scholar, and he's a allama in every single science. He mastered every field. Fiqh, hadith, tafsir, in every field he mastered everything. In every field he mastered everything. This individual, he passes away at 44. The scholars come after him. They say, how is this possible? They say, let's gather his works. I was reading this once in a commentary on one of his books. They said, let's gather his works and let's calculate, let's put his works together and count how many pages he authored. And let's see how many pages he was authoring daily. You know? What do you do in your day? You, like me, what do we do in our day? Authoring daily. So they said, let's start from 19, because he passed away at 44. Let's say at 19 he began authoring. Let's say at 19. They said they gathered his works and they brought the pages together and they counted it was so many thousand pages, and they divided it by the days that he lived from 19 up until 44 when he passed away. He would have to have been authoring 12 pages a day with no internet, with no electricity, with no running water. 12 pages a day. He's not writing fairy tales like a fairy tale like Sarah went to the store and like she bought an apple. Like, no, this is easy to write. He's writing high level stuff. High level to the point where his works and his books are the books that are used to refer to. Anyway, I'm talking too much, but I'm just saying, Imam Nawawi, he's a great scholar. And when we look at someone like him who passed away at 44 and what he left behind a massive legacy. So when you pass away, what are you going to leave behind? In order to leave behind something, you have to work for it now. So I'm not telling you be Imam Nawawi. I'm telling you be you. Memorize Quran or learn how to read Quran. Use your time for the best. But you know what's really difficult? I wanted to say this, Sheikh Osamah, because you asked a good question to everyone about what eats away at your time and the cancers of your time. You have to get up and like make wudu and throw water on your face. Wake up. Like do something. Exert effort. Just don't talk here and feel good and go home and feel good. No, do something about it. No, really do something about it. Wake up. Like do something about it and be around people who are overachieving. You know, Sheikh Osamah, one of the greatest things I found for myself to push me to do anything good is being around someone who's better than me, because you just feel like you're not that good. But if you're around people who are subpar and everyone is mid around you and everyone is lower than you, you feel I'm content. I'm chilling. Look at him. He doesn't even pray salah. Alhamdulillah. I pray Jum'ah. You know what I mean? You have to be around people who are at a higher level than you. That's why the Tulab al-Ilm in Egypt, Sheikh Osamah knows this more than anyone. Everyone is competition everywhere. Everyone's memorizing everything. And like you feel like if you miss out on one day of memorization, you get sick in Egypt for 1 week, it's like you missed a year. You get sick in Egypt for 1 week, you miss out on a year. Because everyone is so like pushing. But when you come to an environment when everyone is coffee and hanging out, I love coffee too, man, no problem. The Muslim is mu'tadil, the Muslim is moderate. You could love stuff, but don't like waste your whole time. You should feel something in your heart. If an hour goes by and you didn't do nothing, you should feel something here, it should hurt here. Like here, it should hurt. Sorry, Sheikh.
Yeah, no. Very good stuff, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair. You know, they say this. There's a wisdom that the scholars, they teach us. لا تصحب من لا ينهض بك حاله ولا يدلك على الله مقاله. Don't associate with someone who doesn't make you better and who their words don't direct you back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first step to becoming better in the way that we use our time and better in our lives in general, right? I need to surround myself, with an environment that's filled with barakah. People who are truly seeking Allah, truly seeking ambition with their life. You mentioned Imam al-Nawawi, as you were talking, Sheikh, Imam Suyuti came to my mind too. Imam Suyuti is one of the great scholars of Egypt. They say that the number of books that he authored is upward of 500 books. Some of them say 500, some of them say 600 books. This is a massive, can you imagine, reading 500 to 600 books would be achievement in itself. Imagine like scouring the entire Islamic library and coming together to put, and again, like it wasn't like mass production. These things were like studied and researched, and he brought new things to the table. 500 to 600 books through one lifetime. Really motivates me. What am I doing? Am I that person who, graduated from high school and I'm stuck in college trying to figure out what am I supposed to do with my life now? Sometimes you find yourself in that position. And it's really not healthy to just stay like that. Don't allow yourself to become paralyzed by misdirection or your wants and desires, or wishing you had this or that or the other. And sometimes that takes away so much time from life, precious time. Some people, just because of something as lowly and petty as a relationship that didn't work out, lose years of their life because of it. 2, 3, 4 years. Why? Because I I wanted to get married to fulan or fulana and it didn't happen, and now I'm depressed about my life and I don't want to do anything with it. No, why would I do that with it? Time is so precious. I should not waste my time on things like that bring me down. I need to figure out how to shake those types of things off and come out of it a stronger person. You know, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. There's a lot of questions. I don't know if you want to incorporate some of them.
I have
Say
one.
something. Go ahead. Go,
No.
Go.
I have a personal story and you're in it, so I want to mention it. It's a really beautiful story. It's about Egypt. No,
Allah
it's not. It's a modern story. No, because we talk about Noe and stuff like Sayuti. May Allah have mercy on them. These people, they lived before us. They had a lot of barakah in their time, Sheikh. Wallahi, Sayuti and Noe, Imam Abdul Hayy Lucknowi, he's Hanafi, he passed away at 38. He also left behind like 400 books. He's amazing.
Yes, I know.
And I was thinking, when you were mentioning Sayuti, you know who popped into my head? Sheikh Yusuf al-Qardawi, rahmatullah alayhi. He just recently passed away. You go to Sheikh Qatanani's office to speak to Sheikh Qatani for 2 minutes, you sit down and you'll look and you'll see the Mawsu'a of Imam al-Qardawi takes up like his massive bookshelf, like from beginning to end. Like, well, I was thinking of him. He passed away and he left behind maybe also.
He lived 100 years.
Yeah?
In the range of 100 years.
Wow, subhanAllah, I didn't know that.
SubhanAllah. Yeah, he lived.
Rahmatullah alayhi. Yeah, he passed away recently. May Allah have mercy on him. But I was thinking of him. He's modern from our time. He's in the generation of internet and everything, and he also left a beautiful legacy behind. Before the questions, I was thinking of this one incident that took place in Egypt that gives us all it should open our eyes to how you could use time and how people don't capitalize on time and how someone can capitalize on time. I went to go meet Sheikh Osamah for the first time. He doesn't know this is the first time. So I went to go meet him the first time. He lived behind Masjid al-Azhar, Sheikh Osamah, in Old Cairo, Masjid al-Azhar, Shara al-Azhar. So it's a beautiful Old Cairo, Masjid al-Azhar is beautiful. It's old. The Fatimids opened it. It's beautiful architecture. So I was very new to Egypt. So I was still very observant. Sheikh Osamah was a pro. He's been there for like 6 years. So when I got there, I was very new. I was observing. As an American kid, we don't really see, sand on the floor and like stray dogs and people yelling things in the street. And so I was very interested in everything. So everything was new to me. So I get to Masjid al-Azhar and we're meeting at the mosque the first time we met. And when you walk in the masjid, I think I was actually following you. I think you're in front of me. And there's buyers and sellers who sell stuff right at the door of the mosque, like in every, Muslim country. So there's this one lady, she's a hajjah, if you remember her, the lady that used to sell the mangoes. She's a hajjah, she sat on the floor right in front of the masjid. You know her for sure.
No.
Yeah, anyway, so she's a hajjah, she sits right there, and right next to her there's this guy, and he sits on a chair, and he sells fruits and vegetables as well, and he has a shisha pipe, and he just hangs out in front of the mosque, and he smokes his shisha pipe in front of the mosque. So this guy, it stood out to me. No, really, just listen. It stood out to me because, he's so nonchalant. But I realized it's normal in Egyptian culture. It's adi. So he's passing his time. He was a very old man, though. The point of the story is he was old, and I say he was old because he looked very old. He looked very frail. He looked very old. He was sitting out smoking his shisha pipe. So we walk into the masjid, me and Sheikh Osamah. I forgot what prayer we prayed exactly, and we left. But he stood out to me. This guy, he stood out to me because I don't know the way he looked And then the next week, I think, or the next 2 weeks, we visit Sheikh Osamah on Fridays. Me and Brother Muhammad, the one that was here last week, our first year, we used to visit Sheikh Osamah on Fridays. It was our little thing. And I would go and I'd always be observant. I'm like, oh, he's still there, smoking his shisha pipe. Interesting. But I never knew what was going to happen next, ever. Like, this never came to my mind, that I was going to spend 8 years in Egypt. I never thought that. I never thought I was going to live 8 years in Egypt and see this guy every time I go to Masjid al-Azhar smoking a shisha pipe. I didn't think that. So then Sheikh Osamah stays another year in Egypt. He goes. And then I go to Masjid al-Azhar, I sign up to Al-Azhar University, I'm memorizing Quran every day, which is what, you're in Egypt, memorizing Quran, busy with stuff, things are progressing, pumped to America in the summer, 3 months in America in the summer, go back to Egypt, he's smoking a shisha pipe. So 5 years go by, 6 years go by, 7 years go by, I enter the master's program, Al-Azhar University master's program, and life moves on, 7.5 years in Egypt. And one time I went into the mosque, like 5 years in. One time I went to the masjid and it was like 30 minutes before Salat al-Dhuhr. I remember this vividly because it was a windy day and we're in the open area of the mosque. We used to hang out there. I was with Fahmi, the Tunisian brother. And I'm with a group of students and the guy that smokes the shisha pipe, he's in the mosque. And the first time I see him and he's sleeping, he's snoring. So people in those countries, they use the masjids to, for relaxing. So Adhan al-Dhuhr came on. I'll never forget this ever in my life. It's stuck and imprinted in my head. The Adhan al-Dhuhr came on, it was really loud. The strong speakers of Al-Azhar, and he was bothered and annoyed, and he got up and he walked out because his nap got ruined because Dhuhr came in. He didn't come with us, and he went out. I don't know, man, Sheikh Osamah, I don't know, he just stuck in my head, this guy. He just stuck in my head. And it made me really scared. You know why it made me scared? Because of, for me, it means a lot to be in front of Masjid al-Azhar. Masjid al-Azhar. Masjid al-Azhar. How many people walked in and out of Masjid al-Azhar and became scholars? Sheikh Osamah is he's a luminant light of this community. He went to Masjid al-Azhar all the time. He lived behind it because of the blessing of Masjid al-Azhar, and he wanted to benefit from the scholars who teach in Masjid al-Azhar. You know, Imam al-Shumbulali al-Hanafi from al-Azhar, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani al-Azhar, wa ma adraka bil-Azhar, Azhar scholars. The amount of Nigerian students I met that came from Nigeria and they were geniuses at the age of 16, they were ulama already. You know this. He knows this. People from Mali, they come and they're going in and out, and they spend 8 years. They like the amount that they get done in the 8 years that they're there, or the 10 years they're walking in and out of Masjid al-Azhar is a lot. They get done a lot. So I don't know. This just really stood out to me. And when I left, he just was still there. So I'm saying, look at this individual, this person that's sitting outside of the masjid. He has the same time as the Nigerian kid that came at 16. He has the same time as me, and he has the same time that Sheikh Osamah had. We all have the same time. We even all have the same place, Masjid al-Azhar. It's all about how you take advantage of that time. This story for me, it means a lot to me because I went through phases in my life and he's still there. He's still there. Then I got a job here and I go back to visit to pick up some paperwork and he's still there. I was just thinking, it's all about how you make use of your time. Everyone has the same time. And time is going to be your greatest source of regret. You will feel bad. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he goes, I don't regret anything like I regret. He goes, لا أندم على شيء كندمي. He goes, ما ندمت على شيء كندمي على يوم غربت شمسه نقص فيه أجلي ولم يزد فيه عملي. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he says, I don't regret anything like except for one day passes, the sun sets on one day, and my appointed time comes closer, my death is coming closer, and my actions and my amal and my scale did not get heavier. This is the only regret I have. I just say this again and again. It's all about how you use your time. Everyone has the same time. The person who goes to Egypt for 8 years and leaves a scholar.
SubhanAllah, Sheikh. You know, when you consider that and the stories of the same thing that happens with the Haram in Mecca.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's people who live in the vicinity of the Kaaba. Can you imagine living right next to the Kaaba and then not going inside the Kaaba, not going inside the Haram to pray? It's a very scary thought.
Did you ever meet like a taxi driver? I had a taxi driver there.
I've heard multiple stories.
He's like, I've been here for 8 years and I haven't won him.
That's the thing, when you have something so readily available, تزهد فيه. You don't really think about it. You don't value it. May Allah not make us of those who don't take advantage what's right in front of us and take it for granted. Ya Rabb, Allah yastur alayna. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. There are some questions here. One question that came in is there was a question about barakah. Where'd it go? Bismillah. Yeah, how can I have barakah in my life? Is there a specific dua to have barakah in our homes and lives, or anything we can do? Jazakallah khair. What are your thoughts, Sheikh?
I could answer. I would like Sheikh Osamah to give the du'ats. I'm sure Sheikh Osamah knows them better than me, but I could answer before talking about the du'ats. I think barakah is achieved by you making the best of your time by following the prophetic module or the Islamic module of waking up for Fajr, for example. I think this is a great source of barakah, for example. Waking up at Salat al-Fajr is a blessed timing and it's early in the morning. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Burika li ummati fi bukuriha. He said, the barakah has been placed in my ummah at the early hours. And I think anybody that wakes up for Fajr and stays up after Fajr, he sees the exact meaning of this hadith. You don't have to read a commentary on this to understand what this means. That the blessings have been placed in my ummah in the early hours. If you wake up for Fajr and you utilize 2 hours after Fajr, 2 hours after Fajr, it's like 40 hours after Asr. 40 hours. It's like the difference is immense. The difference is immense. So I think barakah can be achieved by staying away from haram, by doing good, by being in the boundary of the sharia, yani doing halal, not doing haram. Doing haram rips you void of barakah. Barakah can be achieved through many things, but I think ultimately it comes down to being a person of goodness and worship, and also sticking to the prophetic and Islamic modules of timing and just waking up early and making the best of that.
Absolutely, Sheikh. You know, look, I think what I would add is be very careful of the things that destroy barakah. You know, barakah is decimated by sins, especially the major sins. It's also decimated and ruined by the rights of others. It's a very scary thing. You want to find barakah in your life? Make sure you're someone who's very loyal and fulfilling the rights of people around you. Make sure if you take money from somebody, you pay them back. That if you've wronged somebody, that you seek their forgiveness. That whatever would amount to the rights of people, that you make sure that you don't allow that to follow you to your grave. Because that destroys barakah. It destroys barakah. Sometimes, people, the decisions that people make and the way they try to earn their money, the careers they go, the careers they select for themselves. are things that take them far, far away from this concept of barakah and nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and remembrance of Allah. Sometimes the financial decisions that people make take away the barakah from their children, from their homes, So that's why, I need to be very mindful of what am I consuming? What am I consuming with my eyes? What am I consuming with my ears? What am I consuming with my mind? All of this can create barakah in my life. So as Sheikh Ismail said, you take advantage of the positive, and then you also be very careful of the negative, the things that pull you down and pull you far away from it. And this is one of the things that's noted in our legacy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives barakah and blessings in the time of righteous people. Sometimes it's about intentionality too. The person, we learned that niyatul mu'min ablaghu min amalih. There's very little I could do with my abilities. There's so much more I could do with my goodwill and my intentions. So sometimes having the right intention and the goodwill just multiplies the amount of goodness that comes your way. Just being a person of goodwill, So that's what I would say to that. There's another question here. That says, what if you evaluate yourself every day but you still commit the same sins the next day?
Hold on.
What if you evaluate yourself every day but you still commit the same sins the next day? Look, obviously, the subject of sins is, there's different aspects to it. If you still keep on falling back into the sin, does that mean that you're no good and you're worthless in the eyes of Allah Azza wa Jal? No. Don't look at it like that. However, is there something wrong with my method of evaluation? Maybe, perhaps. Maybe I need to up it up a bit. I need to upgrade my efforts. How can I do that? Maybe there's a stressor or an influencer that's constantly pulling me back into these behaviors. Maybe I need to figure out how to address that. Maybe I need to pull someone into the conversation. Maybe I need to remove certain factors from my life and my day and my time, right? So maybe these are the reasons. I can't tell you how many, and especially if this is applicable for young people, I can't tell you how many problems that young people go through are rooted in one word: isolation. One word: isolation. Having too much free time that's used in a destructive way. Just plug that hole and you'll figure out most of your problems sometimes. That's how it is, especially for a lot of the younger people. When we're talking about mental health issues, when we're talking about dealing with our desires and our lust and so on and so forth, just plug the hole of the toxic use of our free time, right? Isolation. It's a very, very destructive force in most people's lives. That's what I would say to that.
Golden.
Allah yahfadkum, Shaykh. Here's another question after this. Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask directly? Any direct questions? Any direct questions or comments? Fadal.
I feel like a lot of people have this problem where, you have time and you have like a goal, you have like an admiration or a destination you're trying to get to, but you don't know exactly like what to do with your time, or you don't know what risks to take, or like when to stop and try something else, or when to keep on trying. So like when failure is a sign to stop from Allah, or when failure is a lesson from Allah, like what risks to take and how to get to where you're trying to go. It's just like too much time, and you want to use it, but you don't really know how.
All right, so I would say, just to summarize his question, so I feel like something that eats away at people and their time is having no sense of direction, not knowing when failures are a sign to stop, or if it's something that I should continue to push through about. So, I don't know, Sheikh, if you have advice about, when it's a sign. This is what I would say for this, Sheikh. I wowould say that it's really important that we have mentors in our life. It's very, very important to have mentors in our lives. I'll tell you, one of the things that gives a person a sense of urgency in how they use their time, if they make the wise choice of making their associates people who are in a later stage of their lives, right? Make the right decision. Befriend old people. It'll teach you a lot of wisdom. You learn from, this is one of the things that I hold very dear to me. That I was blessed to be around some old people, people who are much older than me, been through a lot of different experiences, and I could benefit things that are way beyond my stage and my growth, right? If I want to stay in my stage, then khalas, I'll just be with those who are in the same pool of experiences. They don't know how to deal with the things just like I don't know how to deal with them. But at the same time, best thing to do, have a mentor, have a guide, learn from the experiences of others. If you don't have the answer yourself, don't be afraid to ask. They say there's two things that stop people from asking: shyness or arrogance, right? So I need to build that type of relationship with people who have the wisdom in whatever I'm trying to seek in my life, to maybe perhaps get the advice that'll help me figure it out. That's what I would say to that. Very often, by the way, this is for everybody. We all find ourselves at certain junctions in life, we don't know what to do. It's part of the journey. But the best thing I could do is to just try my best to learn from those around me and their experiences and try to figure out what to do.
I think the greatest thing that availed me or helped me was having, like you said, mentors that are older in age, but also older in wisdom.
Absolutely.
And people that went and treaded the path before you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah.
Absolutely. Jazakallah khair. Is there anyone else who would, just because of the sake of time, we got to close. Is there anyone else who has a comment or question that they would like to ask? All right, last question for you here, Sheikh. Is there any parting advice that you would give to the youth and the younger generation?
To the youth and the younger generation, or to everyone?
Or to everybody.
Yeah.
That was the question.
Oh, okay.
Is there any parting advice that you'd like to give to everybody?
No, the youth is okay.
Especially for the youth
yeah.
about how to take advantage of time.
Honestly, we say this a lot, but it has to be mentioned a lot. I learned something from Sheikh Qatanani once. He was talking to us like in Ramadan, this, that. He said, "What are you going to talk about tomorrow?" And I was speaking to him. I go, "Sheikh, I talked about this 20 times in the Ramadan." He goes, "Yeah, again." But this memory hit me hard. He's like, and if I think about it, if I look at Sheikh Qatanani, he repeats, but that's going to happen naturally because some things need to be repeated though. Like some things, you have to hear it 5,000 times. That's why God repeats things in the Quran as well, for you to hear it multiple times. For you to hear it multiple times. I say this before I answer because we say this all the time. Like I feel like every week we do a Friday forum, and this is like the first piece of advice we give people. You are who your friends are, brother. Like that's it. Like you are who your friends are. You're going to be productive if you're with productive people. You're going to be a bum if you're with bums. You're not going to be productive if you're with bums. It doesn't work like that. You're going to you get affected by your friend. As-sahibu sahib. Your friend is someone who pulls you. He pulls you to good or he pulls you to bad. And as Shaykh Osamah said from the wisdoms of Ibn Ata'illah is, don't befriend someone who's not going to uplift you. You want to be uplifted by the person you're with. You will be made by your friends, or your friends will be your greatest source of salvation or the greatest source of your demise, man. It's a big deal who you interact with and who you set yourself with. And you shouldn't be someone with no friends at all. You shouldn't be someone, Shaykh Osamah said another thing that I liked a lot, that I want you guys to all hear, is like isolation is detrimental. Because you find yourself falling back into sin. Check yourself. What is it that's making me fall into the sin? I would say it's going to be isolation. I would say it's going to be isolation for sure. Stop being isolated. Be good energy. Give good energy. And be around people who give you good energy. Be around good people that uplift your spirit. This is the number one piece of advice I'll give anyone. Be around people that will uplift your spirit. How do you find people? How do I find people that uplift my spirit? I'll give you all the cheat code today. You hear it from me. Come to the masjid, Habibi. You come to the masjid. The mosque is where you find the best people, man. Wallah, the mosque is where you find the best people. You find the best, everything in the masjid. You come to the masjid, you come to a class that Shaykh Osamah gives, or you come to a class that I give, or you go to a class that any masjid gives in the world. And you enter a mosque. And when you enter the mosque, you get hit with this puff of tranquility. And anyone you interact with in the mosque is going to be a good person. Like usually, you find good people in the masjid. If you're not frequenting the mosque, you're not going to be around good people. It's just the way the world works. I'm not saying there's not good people outside, I'm sure there is, but if you want to gather the good people and find them somewhere, find them in the masjid. So I say you be close to the mosque, be close to good people, surround yourself with people who outproduce you. Surround yourself with people who are in the same line of whatever you're trying to do, but they're better than you. And inshallah, that's a good religious thing. If you're with people who are subpar or mid or under you, you're going to feel something called complacent. Complacency is a disease. You feel good because, alhamdulillah, like we said, if you're comparing yourself to someone no good, you are great. You're great. No, compare yourself to someone who's better than you. Compare yourself to someone who doesn't miss Fajr ever. Compare yourself to someone who does not smoke anything. Like we all have little things that we suffer with, and we're dealing with. But I want to give another piece of advice. So first is your friends and your environment. Another thing is, I speak to the men like talk to yourself all the time and say, no, I want to be different. I want to be strong. I want to be disciplined. I want to be different. I want to be strong. I want to be disciplined. Because it's easy to give in. I speak to everyone, not just the men, everyone. It's easy to give in and it's easy to indulge. Shaykh Osamah, wallahi, it's so easy to do haram. It's very easy. Like to give in is easy. To abstain and not do it is difficult. So you have to like reward yourself with some type of mindset. Like push yourself and say, no, I want to be strong. Like, no, I want to be Islamic, I want to be a good Muslim, but I also want to be strong mentally. Like, why not? I want to be strong physically. And you receive strength through discipline. Islam is all discipline. You have to have internal battles. Because there's gloomy days in New Jersey. Right now, Maghrib, 4:28 p.m., it's like early. It's dark a lot. It's gloomy, and it gives people seasonal depression. You have to overcome these things by internal battles, man. You have to fight and exert effort. Be around good people. Be in good places. Don't isolate yourself, but also internally fight and be disciplined. Look forward to discipline. Tell yourself all the time, no, everyone vapes. I don't want to vape. Everyone vapes. Like everyone does haram. I don't want to do it. I want to be different. I want to be strong. You stand out for the sake of Allah, but stand out for yourself and grant yourself strength. So parting advice is, in order to take advantage of time, in order to stay away from haram, in order to do anything, there has to be something called exertion of effort. Exert effort. وَنِعْمَ أَجْرَ الْعَامِلِينَ. That's why Allah, He ends talking about Jannah and saying what a great reward Jannah is for the one, عامل للعمل. والله عمل عمله. And what a great reward Jannah is for the person who exerted effort. He worked hard for it. He didn't make it to Jannah with nothing. There's no VIP Jannah, nothing. No VIP Jannah, nothing. You exert effort for what you need. And I say this, lastly, we exert effort for many things. Wallahi, man, someone wants to go to medical school. I always say medical school, we rip them. But like, no, really, you exert effort to get into medical school. You pay money for a tutor for medical school. That exertion of effort is in many places. Exert effort for your salvation, my brother. Exert effort for your heart, for your mental health, for your physical health. Exert effort for your deen. You know, exertion of effort has to be there. That's what I wanted to say. Be real with yourself. Don't give yourself like easy outs. Like someone, you say, oh, how was Jum'ah? He goes, I was busy. What do you mean busy? You're a grown man. What do you mean busy? Jum'ah, busy? There is no busy for this word. What do you mean busy? Busy? Jum'ah? It's an obligation of God. It's a big deal. I find this, I don't know. I find that like, people, like they say something like it's so light and easy, like, oh, busy. Missed the obligation of God, busy. Like it's so easy, it's so normal. I don't know.
No, that's beautiful. Jazakallah khair. La fudafuk. Nafa Allahu bikum. Sheikh Ismail, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to live by this. Again, surrounding ourselves with the good people. And as you said, exertion. That was number 2. There was one before it. What was it again?
Environment, good people.
Environment, good people. Being around good people, being in a good environment, and exerting ourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the time that we have. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, Sheikh Ismail, for spending your time with us. And inshallah, we will see you guys next year, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So no Friday forum next Friday. Inshallah, in January, the first Friday in January, we'll be returning back to the Friday forum. And again, blink once and you'll find yourself at Ramadan. That's how close it is. Blink twice and you'll find yourself at the Day of Judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us ready for it. Jazakumullah khair. Salam.